I'm going to talk about the two best sizes, okay, that I think it's gonna be easy for you exporters to handle and to manage. So quantity is not really, I wouldn't delve too much into focusing on quantity. You only need a couple of sizes. So for retail, I always recommend no larger than 4 pounds. So that is about 1.8 kilograms. This is Garri that I'm talking about. So for a 4 pound bag of Garri, you can target individuals. You can target, let's say, a small family of 4. That's plenty of Garri for them to get started with, and it's something that they can subscribe to and reorder from you down the line. So here in the United States, a 4 pound bag of Garri is going anywhere on Amazon. For those who are planning on selling to consumers on Amazon, for let's say between $30 to $40 for the 4 pound bag of Garri. It also depends on the quality and the branding of that particular Garri as well. If you're just throwing Garri in a Ziploc bag and slapping some sort of writing on it, that's not going to generate you much. But if you take time in your branding and in your advertising and in your positioning, you could command as high as $40 for a 4 pound bag of Garri. The current rate right now, and remember, a 4 pound bag is 1.8 kg. The going exchange rate right now, as I'm shooting this video, is about a dollar to 1,510 naira. So just go ahead and do the math. 40 times 1,500. That is what you are expecting in Nigerian conversion rate to sell your Garri for here in the United States market. And I'm talking about direct to consumers, where you're selling on platforms like, Walmart.com or Amazon.com or eBay.com or even your own website. So stick to just that one size. Stick to the 4 pound bag, which is, again, it's 1.8 kg. And as you grow and as you continue to gain more experience in your exports, you could expand to maybe smaller sizes. You can do a 2 pound bag, or you can go as high as 5 pounds. But I wouldn't do anything bigger than 5 pounds. 4 pounds is generally a safe weight to operate from, which is 1.8 kg. As far as the rules and regulations on exporting Garri from Nigeria to the United States, there really isn't. They're not really there. They're regulated. Obviously, any food that comes into the United States is obviously regulated. It can be, it could be pulled and inspected just to make sure that it meets the consumer's needs, and you're exporting safe foods into the United States. But as far as regulation goes, you can export cassava products. Garri obviously is a byproduct of cassava into the United States. Now, do you need NAFDAC certification to export from Nigeria into the United States? You do not. NAFDAC is only for those who are selling within the borders of Nigeria. But as far as export goes, once you stamp your goods for export outside of the shores of Nigeria, NAFDAC is not a hard requirement. It is a nice to have if you can get it, but it's not something that I would waste equity or waste my time on getting if you are planning on exporting into the United States. Now, keep in mind though, for those of you who are and I've talked about this before in my previous videos, if you are the exporter of record in Nigeria, you are going to need to have your facility, and I've said this on multiple videos. Go on my YouTube videos and search FDA. If you are the exporter of record in Nigeria, you're going to need to have a facility. Your facility, as in where your operating form, the address of your establishment, registered with the United States Food and Drug Administration. Now, In order for you to be registered with the FDA, this is another caveat, you got to have something called the Dun and Bradstreet number. I don't know if Dun and Bradstreet issues number to Nigerian food exporters or not. In my situation is a little bit different because I am the exporter of record in Nigeria, and I'm based in the United States, and I'm also the importer of record in the United States. So essentially, I am exporting to myself for distribution into the United States. A lot of people don't really have that luxury or don't have that capability, but ultimately, when you export food products, whether it's Garri, whether it's palm oil from Nigeria, you are going to need to have your establishment registered with the Food and Drug Administration in the United States. For those who don't have that, they can partner with people who do, such as myself. I know that there are companies out there in the United States that help Nigerians import food products into the United States. They can serve as your importer of record and then submit their FDA registration number to United States Customs so the food is allowed in the United States. At this point, Barricade Ventures does not partner with, we don't have any partnerships. Like, we don't partner with anyone in Nigeria. We are our own exporter of record. We export to ourselves, and we buy from ourselves in Nigeria, and we import them into the United States. So that makes me the exporter of record and also the importer of record. And as a result, because I'm based in the United States and because I have my Dun and Bradstreet number, I can turn that into the United States Customs and have my food products cleared easily out here in the United States. So I've talked about the retailing aspect of it. For those who are going more into wholesale distribution, meaning you don't want to deal with the end consumers, you just want to sell directly to, let's say, Nigerian grocery stores, or you want to sell directly to Nigerian Nigerian restaurants, or maybe a large family that's looking at buying in bulk. I would say package your goods in no more than 20-pound bags. It's just easier for you to load, it's easy to unload, it's easy to package. Now, 20-pound bag is it's a good size and weight to start. As your consumers or your customers continue to ask for bigger, larger sizes, you can expand from there and start offering those larger sizes. So the rule of thumb is this: for direct retailing, meaning you're selling directly to consumers, end to end, go with the 4-pound bag, which is 1.8 kg, or you go with the 20-pound bag for wholesaling. Okay, so you take 20 divided by 2.2, it'll give you the kilogram that you should stick to. Okay, really pay attention to your branding and marketing too. Pay very, very close attention to your branding. That is very important. You want your packaging to reflect, obviously, what you're selling. Our packaging is very straight to the point. We have our logo, we have the type of Garri, whether it's white Garri or yellow Garri, we have it there. You're also going to need the weights that you are exporting, whether it's 4 kg, that information needs to also be on your packaging. Your company name, obviously, and your address and your phone number has to be on your packaging. It is a requirement for retailing out here in the United States to have your company mark, your address, and your contact information, whether it's a phone number or whether it's an email for people to reach you. Okay? And another critical part of it, another critical information that you're going to need to have on your packaging is the country of origin of the product. In this case, obviously you're exporting from Nigeria into the United States. You either need to write, made in Nigeria, or product of Nigeria, or manufactured in Nigeria. There just has to be that country of origin mark on your packaging. Invest in a polypropylene sack. You can get this in 4 kg, and you can also get it, sorry, not 4 kg, 4 pound sizes. You could also get them in the 20 pound sizes. The person that handles our packaging in Lagos, we have a couple of people in Lagos that we use that handle our packaging. They're also members of the Nigerian network on WhatsApp. I'm going to include the link to that. That is an important WhatsApp group to join. If you are looking at connecting with Nigerians for trade, for projects, for exports, for imports, for business solutions, everything that you need to get started and become successful, that is what that platform is for. So be sure to click on that link and visit that platform. Visit us on WhatsApp, okay? Nigerian Network on WhatsApp, and start talking to other people such as yourself, business people, project leaders, entrepreneurs, investors. It's a community that is designed and positioned to help people such as yourself succeed in Nigeria and helping you gain market entry into the country. We have people that can help you buy land, people that can help you buy properties, just anything that you need done in Nigeria legally. You have the support there on the Nigerian network on WhatsApp group. So pay close attention to branding, invest in good branding, okay? Invest in good branding, invest in quality packaging, invest in bag sealers so you can seal your bag professionally. Invest in things like that. It's just gonna help you stand out, because believe it or not, more and more exporters in Nigeria are starting to pay close attention to their branding and their packaging. So if you want to gain an edge in food exports from Nigeria into the United States, that is something that you should really pay attention to. Now, as far as palm oil is concerned, I've also made videos about this on the channel as well. Palm oil is no different. What I always recommend to as far as that palm oil goes, what I would recommend, and I've tried exporting in 20 kg, they call them jerry cans, those yellow jerry cans. Those did not work out for me because not a lot of people can afford to buy 20 kilogram jerry can of palm oil, okay? So what we did was we exported the 20 kg jerry can of palm oil into the United States, and then we repackaged them into 12-ounce bottles that we sell for $15 on Amazon. So palm oil is very profitable if you know how to work, if you know the workarounds around it. So ideally you want to stay at under a liter. Ours is 12 ounces. It's smaller than most people, but it's what works for us. It has our branding. We sell quite a few. We don't really sell a lot of palm oil, to be quite honest with you, because it's a very, very saturated market for some reason. But it's a product that we have on our portfolio, but it's not something that we are looking at continuing long term. Our primary product right now is crayfish. Like, crayfish is massive for us. Ogbono is also doing very, very well for us. So those are our two, we call them our hero products, our crayfish and our ogbono. But that's not to say that you can't get into palm oil exports. You can go ahead and get into palm oil exports if it's something that you want to do. But keep it at about a liter, no more than a liter. Have good branding. This is something that you could sell end to end directly to consumers on platforms like Amazon, Walmart.com, eBay.com. Like I said, we're selling our 12-ounce bottles for $15 a bottle on Amazon at the moment, and we haven't had any pushback on the pricing at all whatsoever. So processes and regulations, just like Garri, there really isn't that big of a process or regulation with palm oil either. Just make sure that you are exporting quality food that people are going to enjoy for the U.S. consumers, because the United States is very, very tight on quality. As long as your product is of high quality, you have great branding and you have great packaging and you have a good price point that's competitive, I think you can be successful depending on how much effort you put into your product. Again, just like Garri, you do not need to have a NAFDAC certification to export palm oil from Nigeria into the United States. It's a nice to have, but it's not a must have. If you're going to do it, don't do what we did, where we were exporting 20 kg jerry cans and repackaging and rebranding into smaller containers. Just start with the smaller containers from Nigeria from the get-go, okay? If you want to start with 1 liter, you can do 1 liter. If you want to start with 16 ounces, you can do 16 ounces. Our case, we didn't want to do a liter. We wanted to do something smaller, something that, let's say, a family of 4 can use when they need, and subscribe and reorder as they need it. When you start dealing with like bigger cans, they tend to stay longer. But when you go from, let's say, 12 ounces to 16 ounces, it's something that someone can use for, let's say, depending on how much they consume palm oil, 2 months, 3 months, and reorder from you or replenish their inventory once they run low. So stay away from large, unless you have customers that are requesting those large sizes, those 20 kg jerry cans, 25 kg jerry cans. Stay away from those. Focus on the smaller ones, less than 1 liter. A sweet spot is 16 ounces. We chose to go the other direction and go even something smaller. Ours is 12 ounces. And like I said, we haven't had any pushback on the size of the bottle. And we also haven't had any pushback on the cost, so on our price point, which is $15 a bottle. So hope this helps. By the way, check out our link, as I mentioned, on WhatsApp too. We have shipping agents on American Network and on WhatsApp that you can talk to, that can help you with your export needs from Nigeria to the United States, and also from your import needs from the United States. If you order from the United States, from Nigeria directly to you here, you can check on our platform on WhatsApp. Just post that you're looking for a shipping agent, and I'm sure you get people that's going to reach out to you and offering their services. Okay. Hope this helps, guys. Be sure to subscribe and share this to anyone who could find it beneficial. All the best. Bye.